Last two left, baby. Taking the train. I'm the plane, or maybe the train now. Who knows if people can get on airplanes? And we're traveling from Tampa and going to the last two teams that are both in there. They're in the same state, New York. Last two teams that are 30 on 30. We're going to talk about the New York Mets today. We're going to go over to Citi Field. Brand new owner, Mr. Cohen, uber billionaire, who's smart. I think he's going to make some shrewd, kind of bold and savvy moves. I think they'll probably make a smart trade of some sort, but the bigger moves will probably come in free agency. And but let's see what we're going to talk about today. So today's the last two, the second to last team of the 30 on 30. All right, team number 29. All right, if you want to see all the other teams, if you haven't, take a look in the description down below. All 28 are in the description, and I have a couple other videos down there too. My MLB free agent predictions, my contract predictions, and a couple other trades, a couple other videos as well. And you're not going to want to miss after this, because after I'm done with this, my first video out the gate's going to be 5 bold and crazy 3-team trades. Okay, and you're not going to want to miss that one. So hit that subscribe button right now, and the notification if you haven't done so yet. Okay, especially if you're a baseball fan, this channel's for you. Okay, I make to do this for you guys, and I appreciate your support. Whether you're new, or whether you've been with me from day one, appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching these videos. Okay, you guys make them better, and put comments in and put feedback in the comments down below. I respond to everybody. We like to have good dialogue. Okay, so New York Mets. Okay, I'm a Yankee fan, but I also like to see the Mets play well, and I hope now that they're going to be, I'm guessing, and I really feel more competently run. I think they'll be in a better position to have success moving forward. And he's already making good moves, and I like by even taking care of either furloughed employees or people that are just not getting paid now or not making anything because of what's going on. He's taking care of their salaries, so that they can kind of last and help feed their families and stuff like that. So respect. I respect that a lot, and that's a good thing, man. So give him a lot of credit for that. So needs outfield, relief pitching, bullpen, particularly on the lefty side, and a little bit more starting pitching depth. I mean, they obviously have DeGrom, their hands down number one, and probably the best pitcher in the National League. And they've got Noah Syndergaard, but he's coming back from Tommy John, so we have to be patient with him, just like the Yankees have to be patient with Luis Severino. Can't expect him to come back and just be horses again. It's not with Tommy John. Okay, we love it, but we want to maintain realistic expectations. And some depth pieces. I know that Robinson Cano's been suspended now for the entire season, and that sucks. But they have, in my opinion, positional versatility. They can move around. Neal, Davis, they have guys that they can fit in there. So, and I know there's been talking about them pursuing DJ LeMahieu and stuff like that, but even though they're not paying Cano this year, his salary comes right back on the books for the next 2 years after that, $24 million a year. And I just don't see DJ LeMahieu as a fit. Now, it could happen, but I see his money being spent elsewhere, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I don't see the point in them bringing in DJ LeMahieu. It's just not as a good a fit as some other players are. Like second base isn't a dire need for them. Neither is first base, unless they package Pete Alonso in a trade for somebody like Blake Snell or somebody like that, which it's possible, but I don't see happening. So what are you gonna do where are you gonna put LeMahieu? You can put him at second, but then you have other guys who can fill in who won't cost as much, because he's gonna cost at least $20 million a year. So. And again, I think their resources are best spent elsewhere. But again, I'm not the owner, so we'll see what Steve Cohen does. And personally, I think they should sign somebody like Jackie Bradley Jr. for outfield. Again, gives them versatility, won't break the bank, lefty bat, which I think helps balance that lineup out a little bit. And again, you can plug him in there every day, and be a consistent outfielder. So I think he'd be a good fit there in terms of outfield. Left-handed relief pitching, I think they should make a trade for Josh Hader, in my opinion. I think they should go out and get the big dog. Hader would make that lineup sickly good. I mean, that bullpen's sick good. And he would complement some guys that are kind of inconsistent, like Betances and Familia, and he would give that bullpen just crazy recognition and just crazy juice. So that's where, in my opinion, you should package assets even at the major league level, you go get a Josh Hader, you put in that bullpen. It gives protection to that rotation. He can go multiple innings. He's that guy. So that's what I think they should do. And in terms of starting pitching, well, I also think they should add a Liam Hendricks as well, another power arm to the bullpen. You trade for a Hader, you bring in Hendricks, man, whole nother ballgame in the bullpen. You got a Tampa Bay Rays type bullpen now. Do I think they can do it? Yeah. I think they should. Yeah. Do I think they would? Well, they will. I don't know. Not so much. I think they should bring in Taijuan Walker for the rotation as another depth piece. Trevor Bauer's out there, but again, do you really want to pay $30 million for him? I don't know. I mean, again, they have bigger needs. And I think Taijuan Walker you put him in that, he'd be a good change of scenery guy from the AL to NL and back to the NL. And he's a power arm. He pitched well last year. He kind of found his groove again. And you plug him in as a number 3 or number 4. And then you'd add him, and they have Stroman back now. He accepted their qualifier, so you got a DeGrom, Stroman, you got a Walker, which allows Syndergaard to come back gradually. You have another power arm, so you can ease him back into things. Okay, that's the way I look at it. It's my logic. And then you bring in somebody like Rich Hill as another depth piece on the back end. Morton's not available anymore. Neither is Drew Smyly, so they've signed both with the Braves. And but I think you get a Walker and a Rich Hill. You add them; they're both going to be relatively cost effective. They would call you could probably get Jackie Bradley, Walker, and Rich Hill for less than it would cost for 1 year of Trevor Bauer. So, just a thought. They can address multiple positions. And again, Josh Hader has 2 or 3 years left of team control. That's where you make the trade. So, my opinion: Jackie Bradley Jr., Josh Hader on a trade. And bringing in Taijuan Walker and Rich Hill and bringing in Liam Hendricks. Now you've added protection kind of to the outfield, to the rotation, and to the bullpen. Okay, would a trade for somebody like Wilson Contreras be a good idea? Yeah, I think so. The Cubs are open for business now. Why not? I would pursue a trade for Wilson Contreras so they have a starting catcher without having to fork over $150 million for JT Realmuto. So, again, JT Realmuto's the sexy move. He's the flashy move. So is Trevor Bauer. I think the Mets are gonna. I think they're gonna make more strategic and kind of methodical moves, in my opinion. With Cohen, everybody thinks, oh, he's got uber million. He's gonna go buy everybody. I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's smart enough to know to not spend stupidly. And I'm not saying Bauer's stupid spending or Realmuto's stupid spending, but if you can get somebody comparable in a regard, or a couple guys at less money, because then it frees up money for them next year for the shortstop bonanza class. We're not having to trade for one of these shortstops. A couple of them are going to be available next year, so they can use the resources then to get one of these one of these starting shortstops without having to give up a boatload of prospects. You give up prospects for Hader, you save the money for the free agent shortstop next year. Now you're in a much better position. Again, it's my opinion, but I think that would be a good idea. Now, what I think they'll actually do, I think they're going to make one sexy move. And then sexy move is I think they're going to bring in George Springer for the outfield. Championship pedigree. He's a clutch player. He's only 31. He's got a lot of good years of baseball left. I think he's going to be their move for the center field instead of Jackie Bradley Jr. So I think they will make one sexy move. I think that's going to be it. George Springer. And I think he'll be a hell of a player for them. He'll go right in there, he'll plug. He's a good gap hitter. He's a good home run hitter. He does everything well. So, and he'll get away from the confines of Houston and bring in some of that experience to the Mets, make him a hell of a lot better. He'd be a boost to the outfield. He'd be a boost to that lineup. That's the move to make. Bullpen, I think they're going to bring in somebody like Andrew Chafin. Okay, another reliable reliever, not a sexy move. Hader to me is the one big move they should make. They'd be the under-the-radar team to get him instead of the Dodgers or the Yankees or somebody else. I think they'd be the team to sneak in and get the guy. But I think they're going to wind up bringing in somebody like Andrew Chafin. And in terms of starting pitching, I think they're going to bring in somebody like, Chris Archer. Change of scenery guy. He didn't really, he had some flashes with the Pirates. But, and I think Pittsburgh declined his option already. Obviously, that's part of it. If they decline his option, then I think the Mets should be all over him. You bring him in, you put him in the back of the rotation. And again, gives them rotation a little bit more depth and protection to let Syndergaard come back gradually. That's I'm all about letting Syndergaard come back gradually. He's a power arm, and I think you got to protect that guy. particularly since he's their 1B, their number 2. Let the guy come back and let him stay healthy. Let him show he can do it. And then you bring in depth pitchers behind them. So that's what I think they'll actually do. And again, not super duper sexy, but you bring in Springer, a reliable bullpen piece, and a starter. You got yourself something to work with. And again, do I feel like that's all they're going to do? No. I think they'll bring in some other players here and there. They might make a second flashy move. Who knows? But I think the owner's smart enough, and he's going to bring in the right people around him in terms of instincts and analytics and good baseball people. He's in the midst of going through that right now, choosing a GM and everybody else. So I think he'll surround himself with the right people so that they can make the right moves. The sexiest moves aren't always the right moves. So, and the Mets, they need to make the right moves for a little while. And particularly since they've had more bad luck than good luck recently. So that's what I think the Mets should do. That's what I think the Mets will do. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button and notification if you haven't yet. And please hit the thumbs up. It's really helpful to the channel. And again, I always respond to comments. I welcome them. I love them. And let's keep that going, okay? After this, we're heading over to the Boogie Down Bronx. I'm going to talk about the Yankees to finish out the 30 on 30. So be ready for it because it's coming. Talk to you then.